Hello, this is Greg Allison Green Greg's coming to you on 2 July 22. Time on deck, it's 19,400 hours Central Daylight Time. And I gotta move and walk because there's mosquitoes out here gonna eat me up if I stay still. All right, my friends, I gotta tell you something. Our nation is really on the brink of something that might be extremely ugly. An armed civil war is a very real possibility now. And let me explain why. It's because a recent poll conducted by the University of Chicago's Political Science Institute came out with this. It said 28%, that's almost 1 in 3, it's almost a third. 28% of Americans believe it. It may be necessary at some point soon for the citizens to take up arms against the U.S. government. Now, if 28% believe that they're talking about themselves, that they're on the verge of having to take up arms, that means there's also a great larger number that are dissatisfied. That means that we're in a pickle, guys. And I do not advocate war. I'm going to tell you, civil war is the ugliest thing you can imagine. Everybody's talking about how horrible the Russians and the Ukrainians are having it in the conflict over there. Well, they losing a couple hundred a day, 100 a day, you know, 20, 30,000. That ain't nothing. That's nothing. And the war between the states. In one battle alone, Gettysburg, over 50,000 people died. That's almost as many people as the 54,000 that died during the entire Vietnam War. In one battle. And there were several other battles that came close to that number. So more Americans died in the U.S. Civil War, the war between the states as we call it here, than all the wars until recent wars put together. Until, you know, just the past decade or two, that number exceeded the number for all the wars in American history. So the Civil War in this country can be ugly. And that was back in the mid-1800s when our population was much smaller. So the proportion of people that could suffer is huge. The numbers today, if the same, would be big. Now, that's not saying it would be the same or that there even has to be a civil war if the nation splits. I don't think that's the case. I don't believe that we need a civil war. I think it's totally avoidable, perhaps. But the attitude there that, you know, so many people are willing to take up arms. But, you know, we can't be run over either, so I get it. But let's hope we don't come to that. That is my hope, that we don't see that. You know, I'm not walking fast enough, guys. Excuse me if I'm getting you a face shot too close. I'm having to hold the camera and other things, and I'm having to swat mosquitoes or something. Something itching on my face. You probably see more on me than I feel, which is often the case when I'm out here. So, but it's more than just that. 45% of the Republicans felt that way, but believe it or not, 35% of the independents, mosquitoes, and 20% of the Democrats felt the same way. So what they found is 1 in 3 Republicans felt that they did not have faith. No, excuse me, only 1 in 3 Republicans felt like they had any faith in the electoral system. i.e., that the results, most Republicans do not feel that the results of the last election were legitimate. And many feel that that indeed was a coup in and of itself. Look here. What kind of critter dens out here? At least no stump site. Critters find all kind of places to burrow in. So you have to bear these numbers in mind, guys. Let's see. Now, even 51% of Democrats felt that the government was dysfunctional and corrupt. Even 51% of the Democrats. So it's not just a Republican thing, guys. This is across the board. This is people on both sides of the aisle who are unhappy. So the unhappiness is great. And furthermore, just to take it to the next level, let's see, a majority of the respondents to this poll felt that the government is corrupt and rigged against everyday people like me. 51% said that. And 49% said that they felt like a stranger. I felt like a stranger in my own country. 59% of the respondents responded to that. Also, there was this lady, excuse me, beautiful trees out here. There was this lady who conducted this, has been conducting polls and writing books out in California. Barbara F. Walter. She's University of California political scientist, and she's author of a book, How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them. So she at least knows enough about it to write a book. And what she said is this. She said that the U.S. is a fractionalized anarchy, which means a semi-democracy, and she said it's quickly approaching the open insurgency stage. So she analyzes this country and says we are really close. It's quickly approaching that stage. Let's smell some roses here, guys. A nature walk is the best thing to calm you down, soothe your nerves, get you back in touch with Mother Nature. It's good for your health. Probably that's a good backdrop for a talk like this, because maybe it adds some soothing nature to an inflamed topic. Now, to take it to the next phase, we know that Texas Republican Party platform says that they want Texas to secede from the Union, the Texit. So that is now the official party platform in Texas. Hey, I actually support separatism, because a lot of people just aren't getting along. Might be time to split the sheets and divide the hickory nuts, as some people used to say. There's some potential merit to that in this country, especially if we could do it peacefully. And I've also pointed out that a lot of countries have peacefully split up, including the Soviet Union. Why can't we? At the same time, there are people in blue states already conducting cyber attacks against people in red states. So you might say a cyber civil war has already begun. So there's that. And if it stays in that realm, it might be better, but that realm can be very destructive in and of its own self. So I'm walking around here getting to the kingdom of the walnut tree. I can get through this brush here. So I just wanted to point these things out, my friends. We are in a peril. We are in a pickle. And it can be uglier than you can imagine. Oh yeah, if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, bang the update notification bell, and click all. I'm not done yet, guys. I just thought before everybody chimes off, I'd point out that in these great times of uncertainty, one ought to prep as much as you can. Because if you talk about the supply chains going down, look what their supply chains disruption has already done to us. A civil war would totally decimate our supply chains. So go to prepwithgreg.com and get your long-term food supplies if you can afford that. Long-term food supplies that last 25 years. 2,000 calories per day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stuff that you can hide. It's stuff that you can bury or bug out well very easy because it's lightweight. So anyway, check that out, prepwithgreg.com. We got a special right now, $150 off the 3-month supply and $50 off for a 4-week supply. Anyway, so so much for that. All right, let's get back to the topic. Oh yeah, before we do, this is a beautiful place here, guys. I call this the kingdom of the walnut. Right here in the vicinity of this walnut tree, there's a little meadow in and of itself, this woodland grass here, and just certain plants that grow right here. Walnuts used to kill everything underneath them, but apparently they kill out some things and allow others to grow. So I guess it's stuff that's not too competitive to them. And some huge vines here, you can see right there, as we are in Vinland, to my friend Perry McClure and my friend King of Snuggleston, the Viking. Anyway, all right, that's a couple of my subscribers, in case y'all didn't know. All right, so back to it here. Texas has said that, the Republican Party put in their that they want to Texit, secede from the Union. And quite frankly, if Texas goes, well, yeah, California's talking about it too, by the way. California's talking about it because they're not happy with the Supreme Court. And that's why I did a video recently saying that, you know, the people that lean blue will be fleeing to blue states, and people that lean red will probably be running to red states even more so now. So the country is separating even more. So we are separating. Some states are kind of in between. There's a critter den. Looking for something active in here. Might find something jumping out at us, guys. I get some exciting. Last time I looked in here, it smelled like a skunk had been living in here. Is this a skunk critter den? I don't want to find out. I think I probed that place enough. I put a probe in there, up in there once hunting my missing wallet, as y'all might remember, with a light on it, and a fiber optic cable. Alright guys, so here's what it means with Texas. If Texas leaves the Union, that probably throws the elections predominantly to the left of the spectrum. What that means is the other red states would probably start leaving in droves to join Texas, because they would feel overvoted, outweighed, and they just couldn't go along with that. What I have problems with is people wanting to take away my nugs. And if you follow my channel, you know what I'm talking about. Just to kind of transverse the spelling. I have problems with people that want to do that. I think we need that freedom to protect ourselves. And I'm back here in the Kingdom of the Walnut again. Every time I stop, the mosquito lands on me. So I got to keep walking and talking. There's some lightning bug. And they're starting to come out. I don't know if they're showing it in the video here. There's some lightning bugs out here. So, what we're talking about, my friends, is a bigger secession. We're talking about massive states leaving the Union. A total splitsville in the United States along the line of red state, blue states. Now, I would expect a lot of counties and what are blue states might want to secede from those states and form new states like Southern Illinois, which is mostly rural. Because our divide is really not between states so much as it is between predominantly urban and predominantly non-urban areas. Country, non-urban. That is the biggest divide in this country. That is the formation of the red-blue divide. And I've talked about that. I've shown the demographics of that and what it means in charts in previous videos. But what I can say is if Texas leaves, you can bet your bippy that a whole lot of other red states will be wanting to leave with them. So what does it mean in the long run? I think in order for North America to function, if we're not at war, if we don't go into a civil war, we need a trade union between these states, and we need something akin to NATO, except this time be North American and not North Atlantic. A North American treaty organization, just to defend North America. And that could probably include Canada and maybe even Mexico. But we need to be able to defend North America from outside invaders. Some of y'all think that some of our North America is already being invaded. So, by various and sundry. I don't know. There's been a lot of speculation about that. I'd say no, not really, but it could happen. So, we just got to watch out for these things, guys. So, keep this in mind. Our country is on the verge of Splitsville, and Splitsville is not a pretty place to be. So let's get ready. Let's, you know what, I don't mind states seceding. To be honest, I think that everybody should have a right to associate themselves nationally however they want to. That no nation owns the people. That the people should be the determinant of their own fate. And I think that's where Ukraine and Russia are both in the error, because they're both committing the same error. in some degree. But when it comes to the United States, we may indeed split. I'm not saying it will, but that may happen. There is a probability now, especially given the great dissatisfaction. One thing I gotta add, some people, thanks to these hearings going on in Congress and by the Justice Department, they believe that the United States will, they believe that Trump will be destroyed. And then there's Republican politicians saying the same thing. Oh, Trump's getting discredited, he'll be destroyed by this stuff. Well, I'm not here to advocate or to discourage people on that, but what I am here to say is this. Probably a vast majority of Republicans will actually feel like this is a setup and it's going to make them mad. And furthermore, they may feel it gives credit to the Trump campaign. Whereas some Republicans are thinking this means he's finished. This may be the source of his landslide into another presidential election. Just given the overall dissatisfaction people have with the government. If 28% think we should be taking, 28% think we should eventually take up arms. How many more are dissatisfied to the point that they would vote based on that feeling, even though somebody may be supposedly discredited by a Democrat Justice Department? I think this is going to make Trump more popular. So all these Republicans that are thinking the other way, you're probably stepping on your foot. You are probably ending your career because you can't see the big picture. You're seeing what you see inside the Beltway. You're so caught up there inside the Beltway, you've lost all continuity with the rest of the country. You're too caught up in the Beltway mindset. So you guys are going to be in peril. Now, I don't know, you might stay in office, but it might be a little bit more challenging for you. So, anyway, friends, I've gone a lot farther longer in this video than I meant to. Basic thing is, just be prepared. Get ready. Let's hope that, if we go to Splitsville, it's not a matter of people taking up arms. Let's hope if we go that direction, it can be done peaceably. And if we go that direction, we can form the right kind of alliances with the states that have split so we can maintain our economy and our common defense. It's just, we won't have to be, you won't have people from states that think different than you telling you how to live. There's merit to that. People don't want to be told how to live by people with diametrically opposed concepts for how to live. That's what it boils down to. And I totally get that. But that doesn't necessarily mean we got to resort to bang bang. Hope it don't lead to that. But if it does, and even if it doesn't, we're talking about major disruptions to our supply chain, guys, potentially. But if we go into a war, civil war in this country, supply chains can be shattered. So all I can say to you is prep. Get ready. Prep every way you can. We're facing potential World War III right now. We're facing something, they're calling it a recession. It may look more like a Great Depression, what's coming at us. I think they're being charitable. My friends, I urge you to prep. Get ready. If you've never done it before. World War III, Great Depression, Civil War, power grid outage, any of these things could be catastrophic to us. Absolutely catastrophic. Any of these things. Every one of those things is very likely right now. When you combine them all, the combined likelihood is just a little too interesting. A little too interesting. I hope these things do not come to pass. But the likelihood combined is just a little too high. Hey, look at that sun back there. There's clouds. I'll zoom in on that. Gotta smell the roses along the way, right, guys? All right. Now we gotta look at the beautiful sky. There it is. Check that out. Beautiful sky. All right. The bugs are getting me. I gotta go. Guys. Anyway, hope everybody takes care. Has a happy 4th of July weekend. I'll post this video probably later tonight. I'm gonna say Greg out. Goodbye.